Okay, I am doing a challenge, and it's a chili cook-off. And I saw the video that Keto Homestead with Jess, and knew I wanted to do this challenge. So I went over to Deb's Way channel, and she's the one who started the whole idea. Her husband made a mouth-watering chili. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm going to make my chili with a spin on it. And even though it's 100 degrees here, I have a way to make chili and not heat up the house very much. So, hope you enjoy and follow along. As you can see here, this is hamburger and pork sausage that we had frozen. I thawed out. I'm going to be browning this. I got a pesky fly in here. But we also have my homemade marinara sauce I'll be putting in right here. Some garlic, because I ran out of fresh garlic. This is chili powder right here. This one is my bell peppers that I dehydrated. I have my tomato powder that I made in 2018. Right here, see? And over here, I made this a couple of weeks ago and had it in the freezer. But this is a whole bunch of hot chilies. So, it's got jalapenos, got these real long ones I don't even know the name of. But when I was cutting these up and cleaning them, my hands burnt for hours afterwards. So, needless to say, I'm only using a little bit of this in our chili today. I also have here some herbs. This is like cilantro. This over here is the rosewood flavor. This right here is cumin. Here is some smoked paprika. And right there is salt. I will be adding onions to it. And believe it or not, potatoes. I decided not to add beans, and the potatoes will give a little bit more. Especially great when you have a big family. And we always do these flat, because when we lived on our bus, we didn't ever have extra room in our freezer. So, Rob flattened them out. Food Saver, the air sucker outer thing, is great for freezing your food, because the air has been released, and it's a heavy duty kind of a food grade plastic, and so it isn't as likely to get a hole poked in it or anything to ruin your meat. So for the most part, we always put our meat in the Food Saver bags. But here is a hamburger and sausage mix, and I used this for just about everything. My spaghetti sauce to making tacos, burritos. I like the combination of usually 2 to 1. 2 hamburger to 1 sausage. And it works pretty good for us that way. So I'm just going to brown this up. My hamburger is about half cooked. So I'm going to put my large onion in here. Good enough, especially one-handed. And just mix it around. I could have grilled the onions, but then you don't get as much of the onion texture of the onion. When you grill an onion, like when you grill the onion first and then you cook your meat, the onion actually almost disappears because it becomes so translucent and caramelized. For this recipe, I want that bit of onion. And so I have added it raw to my meat. And now I can let it get soft while the hamburger is cooking. I realized I was going to need to switch pans because I have a lot of sauce to add to it. Next I'm going to be adding my bone broth, and I had made this back in 2018 I think, but I'm not going to use the whole jar because it's very concentrated, and bone broth is extremely healthy for you, but I also found out it's very expensive to buy. It's not like regular beef or chicken broth. This is actually bones that were cooked for 2-3 days and turned into bone broth, and it breaks down all the bone marrow and all of that that's in the bones is given to you in this broth. Very good, very nutritious. So I'm going to use a cup of that and add water to it. And this is the bone broth. Oh, let's see. Nope, I made it in 2019. But this is my bone broth, and I went ahead and opened it up. And I did not do a whole lot of straining, so we've got all the goodness of the bone broth in here. And it actually smells really good. So there's a cup of this very nicely concentrated bone broth. Filling up my broth with water from the tap, as you can see, because my water has no impurities, no chlorine, anything in it. Just great, great minerals. Okay, now I'm going to pour this in here. If I need to add more water, I can, but I want to add all of my marinara sauce and everything else that I need in here. So I'll just stir it up a bit. It's already smelling great with the onions and the hamburger and sausage. Yum. Next, it's going to be my marinara sauce. Garlic can go later. This one here. Okay, here I'm opening the marinara sauce. Trying to one-handed. Oh, you heard that. That was a great seal. See? And I'll be pouring both these into my pot. And then I'll add spices. Yep, it's a good thing I switched. Very good thing. The cast iron would not have worked. Can't see waste in it. Took hours to do this. I'm going to get much as I can. Because I'm cheap. Don't want to waste food. Okay, so now I'm going to stir everything up. Get it started heating up again. Added a bunch of cold room temperature stuff in it. Not cold by any means, but room temperature to this. Now all that's needed is to add my spices. Okay, now I'm adding some chili powder, 1 teaspoon in of one kind of chili powder, 1 more teaspoon in of chili powder. I think I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons, about 1.5 of the garlic. I think I'm going to do another one of those, as I ran out of fresh garlic. Probably add some garlic powder to that as well. Well, I got my 1 teaspoon measurement wet. Wonder if I could dry it off real quick. Nah. I'm going to go ahead and go with the tablespoon only. I'm not going to fill it up all the way. Okay? But this is actually my tomato powder that I dehydrated and blended in the blender. And it does get packed down, but you can scrape it with the spoon and you got tomato goodness. So I just might go a full tablespoon in here. Full tablespoon. Now it's the equivalent of at least 1 whole tomato or more. I'd have to say quite a few more probably. I'm going to do the same thing with, oops, the bell pepper powder I made. And what's also nice, as you can see with this, whoops, what's also nice is I am actually using a lot of the things that I have canned and prepared. So a lot of times you're doing all this canning, but it's like, what are you going to do with it after? What are you going to do with all this wonderful food that you have canned later? And that's where I used to get really stumped. It's like, okay, now what? I got all this done, but what do I want to do with it? And so this is a pretty easy way to use some of your food storage, your canning items, or your dehydrated items, like your powdered tomatoes, which you can make tomato sauce and everything with. And I dehydrated these, and I used all kinds of different kinds of peppers, red peppers, green peppers, you know, all kinds. So I got a full jar here. Okay, now I've got my hot chilies. Oh, my hands burnt for hours. I had them in ice water and everything. From now on out, if you're doing hot chilies, wear gloves. I've never, ever, ever worn gloves, but these were so hot, I had to. Okay, so that's all I'm using, and I'm hoping it's not going to be too much. But this is going to be a lot of chili in here. So I think I hope I'm safe. Give this a good stir again. Nothing sticking on the bottom. And I've got my last bit of ingredients to add to it. And I'll let this simmer and cook probably for a number of hours. Okay, whoops. Nope, I didn't spill hardly any. Now I'm going to add all the rest of my spices. Let's dump those in there. Pretty good. Now, if I was adding oregano, because it's so strong, if I wanted to add oregano, Mexican oregano or regular oregano, I would do that at the very end. Otherwise, everything just tastes overwhelmingly like oregano. So I don't want to have a dominant flavor. I want them all to just blend in. Okay. And as you can see, it looks pretty good, doesn't it now? Now I got my one more ingredient I want to add. And that's the potatoes. And, you know, this is even good if you have beans in your chili and you want to add potatoes to it. Tastes great this way. And it's filling. I only added the one potato. I'm actually thinking of adding the other bag. That I had cut. I had peeled and cut another potato. It was a large potato as well, and I was afraid I'd overwhelm it with potatoes. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Should I add that other bag? I will see. I'm going to turn down the heat. Oh, looks like it's going up, not down. Aha. Turn this down. I'm going to let it simmer a bit. And then what I'm going to do is look at that mess on my stove. From making chili, it went everywhere, it just blooped like crazy. Don't ask me how it got that far away. But as soon as I cook this a little bit, it'll be going into one of these pans and taking it out to the solar oven. Any leftovers that we have will probably end up getting frozen. Because that's an awful lot of chili just for Rob and I.
Chili now ready to go in the solar oven.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it being all put together. I'm going to put it into the solar oven.
Yes, and we're going to let the chili cook.
For probably about 2 hours.
Maybe longer. The longer we cook it, the more flavor it's going to have.
So it starts out at 150 and it's going to climb up to probably about 300. There.
And this is how Blissful Acres Off-Grid Homestead makes homemade chili on a hot 100-degree day.
But it's only 80 now.
Yeah, it's only 80 now. But the day is young. Okay, we'll bring it out when it's all cooked.
So see how all the liquid comes there? That means the thing's done.
Whoa, it released a lot of steam. This is our chili, guys. And Rob has,
it's been slow cooking for hours.
Yeah.
So now then when I just close this, I set this like this so it can air dry.
How do you do it again? Oh.
I move it so the window can't close all the way onto the seal.
Right. So
and the air goes through and it dries everything out so we don't wind up with mold in there.
And what are we going to do now, Rob?
Go inside with the hot pan.
Now what kind?
I have on my welding gloves so the heat don't go through.
Aha, welding gloves. Whoever would have thought of welding gloves except Rob?
Here we go, the great reveal.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, now we just have to take the oil off the top.
Smells great.
Look, it nice and thick.
And you can see the potato in there. That is going to taste, if it tastes as good as it smells, this is going to be the best chili we ever made.
Chili con carne.
No carne in it.
Okay.
Is chili con carne, does it have beans in it? I don't know.
No, not necessarily.
But this is a no
Then
bean.
it's with beans. No bean chili.
This is a no bean
but it's like
chili.
the chili con carne. See, there it is. Nice and thick.
Yes, that looks so wonderful. And
it would make great open-faced sandwiches.
oh, it'd be great on a hot dog, too.
Yeah, or hot dogs. Well, hot dog you'd want it a little thicker yet. Because you want it to stick inside the bun.
A hot dog stick inside the bun, yeah. And then chili on top of that,
Yeah.
huh? Sounds good. Okay, I guess I will take a bite and let you all know how it tastes. I know it's hot. Want some? It is hot. Tastes like real, oh my goodness, real chili. Not too spicy, but it definitely tastes like chili. And it's really, really good. Rob's gonna love this. Okay, I'm gonna take the rest of it. Have a beautiful afternoon, evening, and an even better tomorrow, guys. Hope you make some chili soon. Bye.